Good morning, everybody. It is Fab Friday and it's the 1st of May 2020. Now, don't get shocked. I am actually wearing clothes, but you see, this morning I wakened to the sun splitting the skies. It was bright blue. So I don't know if you've been watching my frog with the diddly squat and the kookaburra who was laughing, but I thought, do you know what? I'm taking myself off and I'm in Spain with my wonderful friends who look after me when I go over there. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to get dressed as if I was going into the pool, but I've just been in the pool. I've come out, excuse the hair, it's just drying in the sun, sunglasses on, and I'm just going to enjoy the whole ambience of the day and my friends looking after me. And it brought me to thinking of a story. I was out there and I had some writing to finish. And when I go out there, I'm able to sit in front of the computer in a shaded area. And I was sitting typing, and Anne took a photo, posted it up. And of course, it was at the time of the calendar girls. And of course, I got lots of things saying, wow, aren't you brave sitting naked? And I thought, no, I do have a dress on, but it hadn't shown up in the photo. Now, that was all in my imagination. It's a bit colder here than it is in Spain, but you can take yourself anywhere in your mind. So at the moment, I'm in Hemeldamy. And that was a fabulous phrase when growing up, if you couldn't go abroad, people would say, where are you going? Your holidays? And you'll go, Hemeldamy. And that just is, home will do me. And I was also thinking about me, and a phrase that I used to hear often was, Dinny cast a cloot till May be oot. And that is, don't take your clothes off until May is over, May is out. And of course, I learned, I don't know whether it's true or not, but apparently it's got nothing to do with May, the month of May. It's to do with the hawthorn tree. So when it comes out, so if it comes out in April, you can go on your summer clothes. If it comes out in May, so it's to do with the hawthorn tree. But I was hoping that we'd just make fun of this Friday. And we're talking really here, Fab Friday is all about inner happiness. So, and my first personal book, Seven Attributes for Success, was all about finding inner happiness and success, inner success. So I thought today we'd start first of all with the A, my affirmations. And this is, first of all, for all the frontline staff, all the emergency workers who are risking their lives to keep us all safe. So I want every one of us to say together, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. We thank you. Now we need to say an affirmation for ourselves. So do you remember how to do your affirmations? I'm just going to go over them again, but you need to use the 3 P's. And that is P for personal, P for positive, and P for present or past tense. So if we were going to do this one correctly, then we need to say, I have inner happiness, or I am happy, I feel good. And of course, all these using your 3 P's means that it's being, you're doing it correctly. It's none of this, I will be okay later this afternoon, or I will be doing that later. So normally too, we're looking forward to the weekend. And we're trying to get to Friday and, just want Friday to go faster. But with this pandemic, I think that with the lockdown and the self-isolation, that the weekend is kind of merging into the week. So sometimes we don't even know what day it is. So I'm just reminding again, it's Friday and it's Fab Friday. So let us not think about tomorrow or the weekend. We're going to focus on the present. And that's kind of what mindfulness is all about. Now, mindfulness is not easy to do. The word is bandied about. Oh, you've got to be mindful. You've got to do this, and it's. Sorry, thanks, Lynn. No glasses on a Monday morning. If I do make some notes, this isn't just all waffly. Put them on, and then I've got the space. Sorry, thank you. Going off at a tangent here. But it's very difficult actually. Mindfulness is like about emptying your mind. And then if you're anything like me, if somebody says, now you need to sit and empty your mind, that's the first thing that all these ideas start popping into your head, and your head's so full. It's a bit like yesterday I was saying, don't touch that wet paint. And of course, as soon as you're told don't, you want to touch it. So don't worry if you can't empty your mind. It is difficult. But the first thing to do, of course, is ditch the word can't. So one of the other things that can help with mindfulness is we're on to my B for breathing. Now, I'm going to go a bit slower today on the breathing because I think it's important that you know how to effectively breathe. If you're asked by the doctor, if he's using his stethoscope perhaps to sound your chest, you go take 3 deep breaths. And of course, what you do is, and now that might work for the doctor, that's fine. But in fact, when you do this, it's called shallow breathing. It's from the chest. And what happens, of course, is that it tenses up your shoulders, tenses up your neck, tenses up your face, and suddenly what can happen? You can actually look a bit older. And who wants that to happen? So you need to think that the breathing has got to come from the lower area of your tummy. So if we just think just now, sit comfortably. You've got to have your posture correct, of course, when you're sitting and breathing. Now, breathing is quite good to do lying down, because if you're lying down, you actually can't raise your shoulders. It's difficult. So practicing maybe effective breathing, the deep breathing, is good when you're lying down. But I'm sitting and I don't have someone else to kind of move the camera around, so I would do it on lying down. Sit comfortably, and I want you to place your hand on your tummy, on the diaphragm area, lower tummy. And when you breathe in, you push your tummy out. So we breathe in through the nose. Do you feel your tummy moving out? And then you can hold for 1, 2, 3, and then exhale through the mouth. And when you exhale through the mouth, your tummy should go in. So we try it again. So it's just like inflating a balloon and deflating a balloon. Now, the next thing is happiness is all about, well, it's something that you want. Everybody wants happiness. But on many occasions, often we think that we're going to get happiness through buying things, through having a partner, moving house, going to another country, going to another location. And the only thing I say to some of these people is, if they tell me, look, I'm really unhappy here and I'm going to be moving to Edinburgh, I'm going to be moving to Spain, going to be moving to France, I will say, just remember that no matter where you go, you take yourself with you. So going somewhere else is not going to change you. Only you can change you. So let's think this is a perfect time for thinking about inner happiness and using my I suppose, my imagination. We know that we can't visit friends. We're sad that we can't hug our children, hug our grandchildren, have a nice cuppa with a friend. But what you can do is give them virtual hugs, and you can actually give yourself a virtual hug. So just think about this. If you have been following my daily videos, you'll be able to think about any situation at all with a smile on your face. Now, as soon as you have a smile on your face and say the words, I am grateful or I am thankful, then you will have a warm feeling. And that's what inner happiness is. It's that warm feeling. And of course, if you've been watching my videos and listening to some of the mind bites, you could take yourself off into the lovely golden sphere just to feel secure and imagine that warmth surrounding you. Now, there's always people who are constantly moaning. moaning about everything. It's too wet, it's too dry, it's too cold. And I think I got quite upset when I heard people saying, "Oh, I'm going to miss that concert," or "I'm going to miss Wimbledon, and I've spent all that money getting tickets," and we know there's maybe going to be refunds, but take a moment to think of the athletes, the people, the individuals who have trained for this big event, and then they can't take part. Now, for some, they won't ever be able to take part again. So just take a moment to think about these people and what they're missing, rather than just you've lost a ticket or perhaps lost some money and you might get a refund. So, there's 2 points here. I think I'm telling you to think about others, and that's not being selfish. If you start thinking about others, but there's selfishness has got a kind of two-sided coin, because you have to, in a sense, be selfish by looking after yourself. And this is the inner happiness side. The mind and your body, if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to take care of anyone else. And I'm feeling just now for a lot of the emergency workers, when we come out of this, they will need a lot of care, and a lot of people taking care of them, particularly their mental well-being. It's really hit hard, and we often talk about the physical illness here, of people where we're hearing constantly about dying, and again, you have to stop watching sort of all of the negative news, but you have to think of the mental well-being of all these people and take care of your own mental well-being. And that, just talking about the news, I think somebody said yesterday, or some people are posting, we tend to be hearing repeats, I think, and to me it's really quite unhelpful. And there's too little maybe on the positives of what's happening sort of in the world. Now, I love people watching my videos, and I can't thank you enough for that, because it inspires me. And it's quite a difficult thing talking to people that can't sort of talk back. I'm glad that, there's a bit of interaction with people saying words, and, making me laugh when I see something popping up. But I think we have to uh, just take stock of what our life is just now. Now, this brought me to thinking about, I'm a people watcher. I absolutely adore watching people, and I don't know if you've done this, but particularly when I'm maybe going over to my friends in Spain and I'm at the airport, I love watching couples and families, and my goodness, how miserable lots of them are. And I kind of think, you have one, the husband sitting reading a paper, the wife's going some other way, or their partner and children are just doing what they want. And I think, really, should these people really be together? It just seems they're so miserable. And they do say, of course, that going on holiday is actually can be quite stressful, and it takes you about a week to get yourself calmed down, and then almost you're coming home again. But try and think that regularly taking sort of your deep breaths and things, that really helps, and I have to laugh at some of these things that I see people watching, which kind of brings me to another story. I love books, and I used to go to the Borders, a bookshop in Glasgow. And I was often put out like at 11 o'clock, having looked through loads and loads of books. But I was having a coffee one night, and the tables in the coffee shop were really close together. Certainly wouldn't be socially distancing in this crisis. But I was having a coffee, and opposite me was a table where a young lad was sitting, and he had a coffee. And this girl came rushing in. Obviously, the way she, spoke to him, it was his girlfriend, and she was so excited. And she sat down. She'd got her own coffee, brought the coffee, and sat down. And I heard her start telling him about, obviously she'd been at an interview for her dream job. I mean, she was so excited, and I was getting quite involved, earwigging on this, listening into the conversation. And she really felt she'd done well at the interview, and she was doing really well. And I couldn't believe my ears when he told her, "Oh, I doubt if you'd get that job." I mean, I don't think you'd really be up to it. And he started really putting her down, so much so that within seconds she was crying and then she was sobbing. And I thought, I can't stand this anymore. So I lifted my coffee cup up, and as I was leaving, I leant over the table so he could hear, but it was to her ears I said, I heard her say, I don't know what to do. And I just quietly said, dump him. And then I left. Now, I don't know what would happen, but I'm just wondering if this video goes virtual, maybe she's there somewhere. And I hope you're in your dream job and that everything you're doing is for you and you're just having a wonderful life. And I just hope she went for it. And really the message there is, don't let anyone put out your light. Don't let anyone put you down. Your ultimate goal is to have inner happiness. So just think of that. And this is where the mind, my imagination, the creative imagination comes in. So we've done the A, we've done the B. Now you need to imagine, what do you want to achieve? See yourself achieving it. And this applies to anything you put your mind to. It can be career changes, personal relationship, business goals, even material things. Lots of people do this, and it's sometimes they think, well, it's partly, lots of people won't do this rather, because it's partly due to the fact that they think, well, I don't want to set myself up for a fall. But believe you me, it really works. And another sort of story here, I mentored for students in their final year at Strathclyde University, and I was judging their final presentation, and in their final presentation they to talk about the dream job they were going to go for. And one girl, her dream was to work in South America. So I went through the ABC, gave them all the tips, and the final the creative imagination was, I said, just imagine yourself there, you're in that job, you're where you want to be. And I kept in touch with this girl, and it was lovely. And she phoned me, and she was a wee bit deflated. And I said, what has happened? And she said, well, I haven't got a job in South America, but I'm going to work for a company in London. And I said, well, what's for you'll no go by you, as they say. So that's, if something's for you, then it will be there for you. And I said, well, she said, oh, I'm happy where I am. I said, well, stick in with it. Well, about 4 weeks later, she phoned and she was so excited. She said, the company are sending me to South American office. So, it was just, she was so thrilled. And I just find that there's a connection somewhere across the world. I mean, on Thursday, I thought like a midge or something had bitten or stung me in the wrist. Don't know what it was. Seemed to get a bit sort of red. And I've got a wonderful friend who makes cubby salve, absolutely fabulous. And she's given me little jars of it, little tins, and in fact they're tiny. You only need a wee drop. And I was searched the house for it, couldn't find any. So I thought, oh, I really need this. I wonder if I'll phone her tomorrow, phone her tonight. It was a bit late. Well, I sent this message out into the ether, and guess what? I went to the door the next day, and through the post was an envelope with 2 little tins. Now, I just, these things happen, and I can't explain. There's maybe no scientific explanation, but if something works, then why not use it? So if I kind of am in need of something and I think, right, I really need to think about this, it sometimes happens. Have you ever had that where you talk to a friend and go, I wonder how Janet's doing, I wonder how Margaret's doing, and you're thinking about it and the phone rings and it's them? I mean, I find these things absolutely astounding. So you've got to really, I think, find something you get to do every day, something you love, something that makes you happy, and surround yourself with positive, happy people. Now, I'm lucky, and if you're self-employed, you're perhaps lucky as well. You're doing something you really love. But when you're at work, obviously you can't dictate who you're working with, but try and ignore the negative people and keep positive. If you're not happy, of course, don't blame others. This is easy to do. If you're unhappy in a relationship, unhappy at work, the tendency is, oh, it's them, and oh, it's my work, and if only I had this, if only I had that. Well, remember, actually, you do have choices. Now, some of these choices can be really difficult, but you can do it. Only you can take control and make the choice. And if you do, you will find inner happiness. So the other tip, time and space. And I think that's what although we've got a lot of time in our hands just now, a lot of people do not have space. We've all been stuck in, we've got family, everything's on top of us. Could be dogs barking, babies crying, you're trying to work as well. So you still need to make time and space for yourself. And of course, I've said before, take yourself off to the bathroom, do something, because you cannot buy time. You can't buy time. I mean, if you set aside time for yourself, then you're more likely to be able to give slightly more time to the people that you love. And of course, you've got to give time to them as well. So try and find time for hobbies, time for things you love doing, and of course, times for your loved one. No amount of money will bring you happiness. No amount of money will bring you time. People think that. I know that having money makes life much easier. It's better, if you've got money coming in to live, but it can't buy you this inner happiness. Happiness is more, the time in your life, time is more valuable than any amount of money. So what you need to do now is finally, I want you to choose how you want to live. I want you to sort of start creating the life you want, and only you can do it. Take charge of some of the things you want to do. Doing something that you love, and no matter what it is, you will find peace. You'll find peace and calm. You'll be much happier. And I think I wanted to end today with a meditation that creates time and space for you. Now, some of the meditations are obviously up online as well, or you can watch the videos and look at maybe the ones you prefer. But I love my one where I take myself off to the beach. Now, this morning, I've already been in swimming. I've had my soda water. It's not my gin and tonic. Soda water, plenty of water actually, to set me up for the day. And I've watched everybody do their physical exercises. I've done them in my mind. I've toned my muscles up, and I've done my diddly squats. So I hope that's kind of lifted your spirits for today. And just say to yourself, this is a Fab Friday. You're going to chuck away the lists. You're not going to do anything. Just enjoy today and find time and space for yourself. So if we do the beach and horizon video, then that you can take yourself into that time, the freedom of space that the beach and the sea gives you. And what we need to do, of course, is we need to sit comfortably again. And when you're doing these, I mean, if you can manage to, if it's a good day, and take your shoes off, go out into the garden and sit with your feet touching the ground, the grass. There's nothing better than really feeling that nature beneath your feet, and it grounds you and you feel better. Sometimes that's why we feel better on holiday, because actually you're taking your shoes off and you're running through the sand, and really nature has a wonderful way of making us feel happy. So not necessarily take your shoes off today, but we're inside. I've got my feet planted firmly on the ground, and my shoulders back, my posture straight. And of course, we've got to do the deep breathing first. Now, this meditation about the beach and stretching, looking across the sea, it's very effective if you want to feel confident, feel happy, and feel positive. And an inner happiness will come from the warmth that you feel. So close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take these deep breathing. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold, and then exhale through your mouth. And you can hold your hand against your tummy to make sure you're doing the deep breathing. So breathe in again through the nose, 1, 2, 3, and hold, and then exhale. Now imagine you are walking on a golden sand, stretching far into the distance. Space is all around you. You can see far across the horizon. There is only this peaceful scene. Sand, sea, and open space. You feel confident. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face. You feel free. You move forward with a sense of purpose. You can sense the freedom. You know you can find inner happiness. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you breathe in, feel the air and the warmth of the air flow through your body, filling you with confidence. And slowly exhale. Now you can take yourself to this wonderful space anytime you want or need. Just close your eyes and you're there. Now open your eyes and say your affirmation. I am happy. I am confident. I feel free. I know I can turn challenges into opportunities and be the person and create the life I want to have. And then after any meditation, you should sort of shake your shoulders and stretch, and it just relaxes the body and the mind. Now, obviously, if things are overwhelming you, always think or know that it's important to seek professional help. But most of us to me, we want a friend on the shoulder. And I'm hoping that my daily videos are being like a friend on the shoulder to all of you, and having you watch and listen to me. I'm honoured and privileged, and thank you very much for that. It's just, it inspires and motivates me. So I don't do my videos on a Saturday and Sunday. I take a wee break. I will still be doing my ABC myself because I need to imagine myself in wonderful places. And I'll be back on Monday. I don't have a title for Monday yet. If people can suggest, it's been quite challenging finding positive titles starting with the letter of the day. But if you've got a title and it's constructive and positive, then please send me private message me or post what you'd like the title to be. And you never know, if you're a winner, you win an hour of my time. No, you don't. You win a virtual hour of my time, just in case that's misinterpreted. But it's been lovely being with you this week. And again, virtual hugs to everybody and kisses. Thank you very much indeed, and much appreciated at you all listening. Have a great week, great day and a great weekend. See you Monday.